Hello crafters and welcome back to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. My name is Deepa from DeeZinesByD and today I have a Fawn fun card to share with you today. This card uses a few products from Fawn and it's just a bright and fun summery card that is really telling you to enjoy. So let's take a look at what we're using. I'm going to go ahead and use these three main products from Fawn. The first one is the Build a Drink die set, and you can see you've got like an outline of a cup and then a background, and you can put this all together. There's also another die set that you can get to go along with that, which is a different shaped cup. I've got the Playful pineapple, that's another one that I'm going to use to go with this, and then the Scripty Enjoy. So let's start doing some die cutting. So first of all, I have to break apart these dies. You can just bend them apart, or you can cut them apart with this cutting tool that I have here. Now I did cut everything out of white to begin with, and I've got a piece of acetate here so that I can create a little bit of a shaker with the drink. I was going to color it in with some Copics later, but I did end up changing my mind. So I'll get to that in a second. Now I've got the Playful pineapple set here, and I've just got some Watercolor Wishes pattern paper from Fawn. This is a great stack of papers to have because it just has a bunch of plain colors with a watercolor effect to it. And so I'm using this here. I'm cutting out some yellows and greens here for my pineapple. Now I'm going to just do some partial die cutting here, or cut apart my die cuts for some paper piecing, because I want the tops of those pineapples to be green and then the main portion to be yellow like a pineapple is. So I'm going to cut the main open background piece, that open pineapple die, from the watercolor paper, and then I've just got some plain colored cardstock, some plain yellow and some plain green, that I'm going to use to cut the detail die portion out of. And putting these together, it's just going to create a nice look because you'll get the watercolor in the background and then the solid color with the outline. So I'm going to go ahead and cut everything out here. I am just doing some partial die cutting because I don't need to cut the entire thing out, and eventually I'll do some cutting up of these die cuts in order to make everything fit together. So I'm doing that right here. I've cut out everything I need, and I'm making two pineapples here. So everything that I've done it twice for the two pineapples. Now for that top portion of the pineapple, I'm using the yellow outline cut as like a base. I've cut off that top portion from the green cardstock and attached it just right on top, so it looks like it's one continuous piece. And then I'm going to add that watercolor paper behind. But before I do, again, I've got a paper piece the top of that pineapple so that it has the green look on it. So I'll just attach it again using the yellow piece as the main base die cut. And then I'll just glue on this outline that we put together as well. Now the Playful pineapple is playful because it has a cute little face in it. So I did grab some black cardstock and I cut out just the portion of the pineapple that gives you the two little dots for the eyes and the little half moon circle, the little curve for the mouth. So now that I've got the pineapple base put together, I'll go ahead and try and grab those little die cuts from this black piece of cardstock that I've cut here. And it's very simple. You're just basically popping out those little eyes and those mouths and just attaching it. You can see I've actually just roughly put my glue down in the shape of a happy face. It doesn't have to be exact because the glue does dry clear and you really won't see any glue that kind of sticks out of the edges there. So I'm just using my tool here to get this on, and you can see the difference it makes. Once that little face is on there, it's just super cute. So I'm creating two here. There's the second one. And as I mentioned, all of those white die cuts, I was going to do some Copic coloring, but after I put those pineapples together with that watercolor pattern paper, I was really sold. I liked how it looked, so I thought I'd go ahead and do the same thing for the Build a Drink dies. So I'm going back and I'm grabbing all of the dies that I used originally and cutting those out again, but this time I'm using the Watercolor Wishes cardstock. So I've got some blue, like the lighter blue for the ice cubes. They don't actually have an orange. There's just a little bit of a deeper yellow, so I think I'll use that for the little lemon wedge, or I guess in this case orange or fruit wedge that we're going to put on the top of the cup. I'm cutting out one of the cups, and this is the open die, not the outline, for the actual drink itself, from that same yellow watercolor cardstock. And then I've got the straw from some aqua and the umbrella from some of the pink. So I've cut everything out, and now I'm just attaching it. So the umbrella, I'm adding a bit of dimension. I'm adding that top portion of the umbrella with some foam adhesive, and you can see how nice that looks. For the little orange or lemon wedge, whatever you decide this thing is, I kind of did want to, because there are two pineapples there, infer that this is a pineapple drink, but you could put anything in pineapple. You could put lemon, you could put orange. So it's whatever your mind sees that wedge as being. Now, for the actual cup, I'm keeping the white background and the white outline that I originally cut along with the acetate. And you can see the yellow watercolor base that I cut. I actually just cut like a curve out of it. There is a curved die within the Build-A-Drink set that you could use if you wanted to, but I had actually kind of just swept those dies to the side, and I just didn't want to die cut it again because I'd done a lot of die cutting already. So I just cut it with my scissors. You could do either. Now I'm going ahead and assembling the shaker part of the cup. I've attached that acetate, and I did a bit of trimming at the top to make sure it's only going to fill the bottom portion of the cup, not that opening of the rim. And I've attached it to the white outline of the cup, and now I'm grabbing some thin foam strips, which I am using to create the actual window for the actual well for the shaker. Now this is just a tiny mini shaker, and it's probably not going to shake too much because I'm going to put ice cubes, the 2 ice cube dies inside, but I do like the idea of it and the look, and I think it just brings a little bit of interest to the card. So it's just a small little shaker portion just for a little bit of fun. And what are summer cards but fun, right? So I've gone ahead and got that all ready, so it's going to sit there nicely. Now, before I actually attach it and put on all the shaker bits, I'm going to attach the straw. Now, at this point, I probably should have attached the umbrella as well, but I did not think that far. So I kind of attach it in a bit of a different way afterwards, and I'll show you that when the time comes. If I were you, I'd attach it now. It's just a little finicky because that umbrella, the stick of it's just really thin, so you have to be a bit careful and delicate with it. Now you can see the ice cubes, I'm propping that up with some foam squares as well, and the foam squares are not as thick as that outline foam, so it's not gonna hinder the window that I'm placing on top. Now I'm just getting prepared here. I'm removing the backing from all the adhesive strips here, and I'm just going to set that aside so it's ready to go. And now I've got these ombre glitter drops in pixie dust from Pink Fresh Studios. I haven't used these yet. I just got them from ScrapbookPal, and I'm excited to use them here along with the butterscotch glitter drops. Now, I thought that the butterscotch, it matched the orangey, yellowy tone of the drink, the watercolor paper I have there in the background. So I'm adding some of those, and I'm being very careful. I'm adding them so that the flat side is against the cardstock. And then I'm also adding select gems from the ombre pack, because since they are ombre and they're pixie dust, every gem is not the same. They have different mixes of colors. So I'm adding the ones that have more of that peachy tone to it. So I've gone ahead, put all of those in, and attached the top of the shaker, and you can see it looks kind of cool there. It doesn't shake too much. The bottom shakes a lot more than the top half, but it still looks really nice, and it's just a little bit of fun, as I said. So as you can see, I can't stick my umbrella in here, so I kind of just stuck it through that opening portion of the cup to kind of just hold it in place. I will glue it down later. So moving along, there are these 2 little flower dies that are included in the Playful Pineapple set, and I did want to use those to just add a bit more interest to the card and a floral element. So I've used the same concept as the rest, like the pineapple and everything. The outline die cut just from plain pink cardstock, and then the background portion from the pink pattern paper with that watercolor effect there. So we'll just go ahead and put these together. I cut 5 of them in total. You could use more or less if you wanted to. There is a center there that you could cut separately to put in the center of the flower. I'm not going to do that because at the end I'm just going to add some gems to that. So I've left those blank. Now I've put those aside and I'm working on the background here. I've got an A2 sized white piece of cardstock and I'm just adding some Oxide inks and blending in a bit of a tropical background here. I was trying to do a sunset, but I really wanted to keep it light and bright to represent those bright colors of summer. I'm using some Kitsch Flamingo for the pink there at the top. I've got some dried Marigold after that. I've got some squeezed lemonade, and then finally some cracked pistachio there at the bottom. Now my trick to ink blending, oxides are the easiest to ink blend with, I find, because they just kind of mix together nicely because of the pigment component in it. And then on top of that, what I like to do is go back with the first color that I originally blended in to kind of just mix the two colors a little more. Now moving on, I have the Scripty Enjoy die. And I'm just cutting that out of some black glitter cardstock. And I just like the shine in the glitter to kind of just to give the impression of maybe the sun shining off of the sentiment. So I went ahead and used this cardstock. Now you can see that I've kept my bottom cutting plate there because I have the little dot for the top of joy. I always kind of forget the little dots on the eyes and the J's and things like that. So I make sure I kept that aside so I don't lose it. I'm cutting down my panel now because I want a bit of a border around it. I'm making sure to cut at the top and bottom of this landscape panel here so that I don't lose all of the colors that I've just blended together, and to kind of keep it centered. Now I forgot to do this. I'm actually taking some, it's just plain water, and I'm sprinkling it on top. Even though I just adhered it to the card, it is okay. It's only just a little sprinkle of water. I just really wanted to get that sprinkle effect that activates the oxides in the ink. So once that is nice and done, I just dabbed it off with a towel there, a dry towel. I can kind of arrange all of my little bits on my card where I want it. Now I did add adhesive to the back of that cup already, and I didn't fully stick it down, so I could still move it if I wanted to. And the reason why I haven't fully stuck it down is 1, I'm still kind of positioning that umbrella on top, and 2, I want to kind of tuck the pineapples behind it a little bit. So you can see here I'm just lifting it up from the side and I'm attaching those pineapples behind. I want to make sure those cute little faces are seen. So that's why I kind of put the pineapples a little higher, because my sentiment, you can see there, is going near the bottom. Now I'm only gluing this right where it's going to touch that cup, right at the bottom there. And then the pieces, the E and the Y in that, are going to hang a bit. And afterwards, I can add a bit of glue. So you can see I added that dot for the J. So, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore. And then I've got those little flowers that we cut out. So I'm adding like a couple of them with some foam adhesive. And you can see it just kind of props up the Y and then behind the E as well to give it a bit more sturdiness. And you could also add a bit of glue behind there to attach them to the flowers so that, you know, it's not going to get bent, or say when you put it in the envelope, it's not going to get caught. So I chose 5 flowers just to make it uneven, because an uneven number is usually more aesthetically pleasing. So I'm hoping that looks well. And I'm still trying to shake those little bits in the shaker there, which only slightly move. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and embellish this card. So I'm adding some more of those ombre glitter drops. Again, it's the Pixie Dust packet. And I'm adding more of the gems that are yellow and purple to the center of the flowers, so they just shine a little bit differently and contrast with the background. And then I'm adding 5 more gems of just varying colors along the background for just a little bit of fun and some extra shine. And that will basically finish up my card for today. So I hope that this card has been inspiring for you. It gets you in the summer mood and gives you those summer vibes. Maybe you want to grab a nice pina colada or something like that now. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to the Scrapbook Pal YouTube channel. All the products that I've used today are linked within the description below and are available in the Scrapbook Pal store. Don't forget to check those out, and I hope to see you guys again next time. Have a great day, guys. Bye.